Hey guys, this is Dr. Edward Granat, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about the number one mistake that you guys need to avoid in order to lose weight.
Selfish.
So in the previous video we talked about something called healthy cheating in moderation. If you haven't watched that video, please do so, and this will make more sense. As a recap, healthy cheating in moderation is basically having micro cheating episodes every single day or every other day. You used to have 3 pieces of toast when you first started the program. Now you think, having a few bites here and there is not going to make a difference. You used to have sugar, now you have honey. So that usually sets us up for slowing down of our weight loss or completely stalling our weight loss. And the reason why is because most of us have a broken sugar mechanism. And at the heart of that is an overproduction of a hormone called insulin. Insulin's function is to move sugar from the blood into our cells. That's important. That's what keeps us alive. Its other function is to store fat. So guys, the name of the game is to use fat, not store fat. That means if we're activating insulin by doing something like eating small amounts of carbs or sugar, then we're going to store fat and stall our weight loss. Now, in somebody who's healthy or who's got an efficient sugar mechanism, that doesn't make a difference. But I'll show you in this video why for somebody who has a inefficient or broken sugar mechanism, it sure makes a big difference, okay? So here's what ends up happening. When somebody has a healthy sugar mechanism, when they take in sugar, like that. By the way, this is my blood right here. That's the amount of blood we have in our system, about. So when we take in the sugar, the blood sugar goes from normal to high. That's what it's supposed to do. The body then tells the pancreas that the sugar has gone up, and the pancreas senses that and makes a hormone called insulin. Insulin then, its job is to unlock the cells so that the sugar can go from the blood and into the cell. So it will attach to something called the cell receptor, which is this lock right here. And when it does that, the cell will open up and accept the sugar. And that's good because that's how we get our energy. This is what keeps us alive. So that's really important. Insulin is a very important hormone, and when it's in the right amounts, everything functions the way that it should. So once the sugar has gone into the cell, the insulin will come off like this. The cell is happy, it got its energy, anything extra gets stored as fat. The blood sugar has gone down. The pancreas senses that, brings insulin levels back to normal. That's important because when insulin levels are back to normal, that's when we can burn fat. So let's keep going. What happens when you're having the SAD American diet? Basically, that stands for Standard American Diet. You're having too many carbs, you're having too much processed food, you're having too much sugar, pancakes, bread, pasta, potatoes, you name it. You guys know what I'm talking about, pop, beer, it all falls in there. So over the course of months and years, when you start spiking your blood sugar, basically you're revving your sugar metabolism. When you rev your car engine, it goes into the red. That's what you're doing, guys. And the body can only stand so much of that, and then it starts to break down. So what ends up happening, as you spike your blood sugar, large amounts of sugar make large amounts of insulin, okay? Now, I told you we want to keep insulin levels normal because when insulin levels go high, that's when we start to experience all kinds of different symptoms. One of them is the slowing down or the stalling of weight loss and weight gain. We want to avoid that. Some of the other symptoms that you're experiencing, well, this goes to weight gain, is the belly fat and the love handles. That's all a problem with insulin balance, okay? The other symptoms that you'll be experiencing is when this mechanism starts to break down is feeling hungry like an hour after you eat, okay? That prime example is Chinese food, right? You eat Chinese food, it's very high in sugar and carbs, so it spikes the insulin and it spikes the sugar. The insulin spikes, and now the blood sugar is fluctuating. It's no longer going normal, high into the cell. It's going normal, high too much goes into the cell and it's actually going back to normal and then down to low. That's when you start getting hungry. So that's why when you're taking in high sugary stuff, you feel hungry afterwards. It's because that mechanism is not able to keep the blood sugar level. Then the cell gets a little scared because all that sugar is being pumped into it, and it wants to protect itself, so it doesn't want all that sugar in. So what it does is it changes the locks, and the insulin now can't attach as easily because that's what lets the sugar into the cell. Smart cell, right? By the way, that's called insulin resistance. I'll be doing many different videos where this is going to be involved. So remember that term, insulin resistance. This is kind of the pre-end stage before diabetes. Insulin resistance sets you up for things like being sleepy after a meal, again having sugar cravings, gaining weight, gaining belly fat. Some of my patients come in, they're like, you know, all the fat's going away, but I can't lose this. This is still the hormones being imbalanced. This, guys, here, this changing of the locks does not happen overnight. And it doesn't go away overnight. The cell doesn't all of a sudden go, oh, okay, he's eating less sugar tomorrow, let's just change the locks back. No, that can take sometimes weeks or months. And in some people, depending on how damaged that is, even a year to change that back. That's why that healthy cheating in moderation does not work for a lot of people, because you're not letting this mechanism, you're not giving it time to heal and recover. Okay, so I hope that explains it to you. Now, because the insulin is being resisted, we still need to get the sugar into the cells, right? So now the pancreas is freaking out because blood sugar is high here because it's not getting into the cells, so it's continuously pumping the insulin out, right? And that's how it burns out, and that's how you get diabetes. That's why I told you insulin resistance is the pre-diabetic state. Also, when you have insulin resistance, now even small amounts of sugar now require a large amount of insulin to try and get into the cells, right? Because now the insulin doesn't attach here as efficiently as it used to, right? So that's why even having a little of this and a little of that still will now make a larger amount of insulin than it used to. Insulin is a fat storage hormone, therefore you will slow down, stall your weight loss, and begin to gain weight, okay? That's why you can't do healthy cheating in moderation. Also, the other symptoms that you will experience are things like being hungry after you have a meal, because now the sugar is not going into the cells. Used to be times of plenty, now the sugar is not getting in as readily, the cell feels hungry, therefore the signals to your brain don't get there as quickly, and you want to keep eating. Those are the people that start eating and can't stop, right? Also, you can't go from one meal to the next meal without feeling hungry because you can't burn your fat. You're only storing fat. When you continue to store fat, your cholesterol levels go up. You get cardiovascular disease. Your blood pressure goes up. You get Alzheimer's disease. You guys get the picture. This is not a good thing. We want to correct this as soon as possible and get that mechanism back to normal. I hope that puts the pieces of the puzzle together for you. You understand this a little bit better. So now when you're experiencing certain kinds of symptoms, you'll understand what they mean. In the next video, I'm going to talk to you guys about how to correct this problem and what you can actually do about it. So if you enjoyed this video, please share and subscribe, and I'll continue making more videos like this to keep you and your family healthy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.